In this video, we'll be ranking Ash's Unova Gym Battles from worst to best. We have gone through every region thus far looking for the best gym battles the anime had to show us, and now we have finally reached Unova, which is interesting to say the least. Out of every anime series in the anime's history, I think there is none more divided than the black and white anime. But how do the gym battles stack up? Ash only lost once in his Unova run, which leaves us with 9 official battles to rank. Sorry Sharon, but you don't count. Subscribe if you feel bad for sharing. But with that being said, the absolute worst Unova gym battle, and in contention for Ash's stupidest gym battle ever, is Elesa, the Nimbasa City gym leader. The model who's the electric gym leader did nothing wrong. Actually, all the blame goes for Ash why this gym battle sucked. But before that, am I the only one who prefers how she looks in black and white too? Let me know in the comments. Elesa, like most gym battles in the Unova region, was a 3-on-3 battle, right? Well, Ashy Boy thought that he could sweep through the entire gym with just his Papa Toad. Papa Toad is a ground type, which beats electric types, but we all know types don't mean anything in the anime. I mean, look at his battle against Cress. The gym battle starts off alright, with Papa Toad being able to defeat Elisa's Zebstrika, but once her Moga hits the field, Papa Toad gets knocked out. Ash, thinking he was going to sweep her team with him, didn't bring any other Pokemon. How out of character is this? Mind you, this is the 4th gym leader of the region, not the 1st, and he has Pikachu right there. He runs out of the gym and comes back with more Pokemon and chooses to send out Snivy. He then fails to remember that his Snivy is female, which is why Attract doesn't work, and forgets that Grass is weak to flying. Again, this is the 4th gym of the region, mind you. If he had been like, oh, her Emolga is female and that's why Attract didn't work, we could let it slide, but nope. Ash gives big looking for data on the floor energy here, and it's just unredeemable. Snivy gets taken out by Emolga, and luckily Ash's own electric regional rodent Pikachu is here to save the day and win this battle for Ash. Yeah, the battling part of the gym is a-okay, nothing groundbreaking, just a fine battle. But seeing the challenger who already owns 3 gym badges be this stupid in a battle is unforgivable. Everyone hates Cameron for this kind of thing, but Ash always gets off the hook. Not by me, this is for sure the worst that Unova had to offer.
From this point on, the gym battles are okay at least. Definitely nowhere near the travesty that is Ash vs Elesa. That being said, our number 8 spot goes to Ash and Lenora's first battle. What stands out in this battle is a unique setup. Before the battle even begins, Lenora already shows Ash the Pokemon she'll be using, so he could carefully plan his team around it. And honestly, this is a great way to test trainers on their team building skills. The additional rule that this battle has is that the gym leader is also allowed to switch Pokemon, and that is for good reason. Because right when the battle begins with Tepig vs Lillipup, Lenora instantly commands Lillipup to use Roar, which forcibly switches Ash's Pokemon to Oshawott. This follows with Lenora switching her own Pokemon to Watchog. Now, Oshawott is quite unsettled as he's not ready to battle yet, so Ash tries to switch him out. But Lenora beats him to it and traps Oshawott with Mean Look. When you look at it, this battle starts out super strong, as Lenora is introducing some unconventional battle tactics to truly test how her challengers respond to unexpected or unfavorable situations. But unfortunately, Ash is never able to recover from this. Although Oshawott puts up quite the fight by successfully blocking Thunderbolt with his Calchop, he shows to be too reliant on this item, because as soon as he loses his Calchop, he's left vulnerable to the next Thunderbolt. The final battle is with Tepig and Lillipup, but the battle ends quickly with 2 shots. Ash vs Lenora round 1 is a case of having a strong start but a flat finish. And although it incredibly showcases Lenora's skills and smart ways to test her challengers, it still isn't fun seeing Ash this helpless, finding no ways around her moves and having his Pokemon easily get taken out. The battle may be quite realistic, but it's not a great watch.
The early gyms continue to disappoint as we got the Strident Trio at number 7. It's evaluation time to see why these guys made this spot. I think a lot of people hate this gym for the Cress battle, but personally we both didn't find it that bad. But let's go in order. Just 5 episodes into the Black and White series and Ash is having a 3-on-3 battle. Well, actually it's 3 1-on-1 battles that he needs to win 2 of to get his badge. And luckily he's already got 3 Pokemon. Well, actually he's got 4. Yeah, he really has a party of 4 by this time already. First up is Chili, the fire type expert, and instead of using Oshawott, he goes for Tepig instead. Typical Ash strategy. But it works out as Tepig is able to overpower the fire monkey, and despite it being a fun back and forth, I did kind of find it lame because Tepig took way more hits than Pansear, a lot of them being for super effective damage, but whatever. Then we got the most meme battle of Black and White besides Ash vs Trip, and that's Cress's Panpour versus Ash's Pikachu. Ash finally goes for the type advantage, but it doesn't work as Panpour has Ash's number B and he does it in such a convincing fashion. Honestly, this battle was great at showing off at how strong a gym leader can be when faced against a weaker type. And then finally, we have the grand finale, which is against Cilan and his Pantage against Ash and his Pidove. Just kidding, that makes too much sense. He used Ashwat, of course. And what does this battle show us? That type advantage doesn't care what you think because Ash is able to come out on top. Overall, this battle had its weaker moments and could have gone with better matchups, honestly, but it was definitely funner than the previous two. Going in, I was expecting to hate the Cress battle, but it was actually my favorite out of the three. I know I said that the early gyms are disappointing, but surely the trend stops here.
The trend doesn't stop here because at number 6 we have Ash vs Lenora round 2. After some arduous training with Tepig and Ashwat, Ash is now ready for a rematch with Lenora. But Ash is not the only one who's training. Lenora is too, as it's revealed that her Lillipup has just evolved into a much stronger Herdier. Or maybe it's a different Pokemon, I don't know, Lenora never confirms it. Anyways, the battle starts out with Tepig using Ember, but Herdier is shown to have learned Protect. It then retaliates, pun intended, with Shadow Ball, which thanks to their training, Tepig now cleverly dodges. And then, the battle goes the exact same way as before, with Herdier roaring Tepig, then Lenora switching to Watchog, who then traps Oshawott with Mean Luck. But this time, Ash is confident and prepared for the situation. Oshawott makes the first move with Razor Shell, which lands its mark before Watchog could dodge, which is proof that Oshawott's really trained up his speed. Oshawott then shows off his new move, Aqua Jet. Except that Oshawott refuses to open his eyes, so it's got a 10% chance to hit. This leaves him vulnerable to Confuse Ray and then a devastating Thunderbolt. But Oshawott stands strong and tries a Water Gun, but he ends up attacking the wall due to confusion. Then as Watchog goes for another Thunderbolt, Ash gambles with another Aqua Jet. But this time, the attack lands, defeating the Lookout Pokemon. I guess the combination of confusion and Aqua Jet missing by default made it actually hit its target. I mean, negative times negative equals positive, right? Anyways, this collision also takes Oshawott out, so now it's just Tepig versus Herdier. This rematch is much more refined, as Tepig's really able to show off his speed and agility. But Herdier is also shown to be strong, having learned Giga Impact. The battle ends in a collision between Herdier's Giga Impact and Tepig's new move, Flame Charge, with Herdier being the one taken down. Despite being a rematch, this battle feels fresh because of the new moves, new skills, and new Pokemon added. It's solid middle-of-the-road battle, but I didn't like how Oshawott won by luck. But what I like about Lenora is that she is the gym leader that truly feels like an examiner testing a challenger on their skills rather than battling them all out, which I believe is a true essence of being a gym leader. So from Unova's most level-headed and grounded gym leader,
let's fly high with Skyla at the number 5 spot. Okay, now that I think about it, I think every number 5 I've covered on these videos thus far has also had 5 letters in their name, and I know it's just a coincidence, but still. After being proven unworthy to battle her in Air Battle, Ash gets a chance to prove that it's just bullshit. This 3-on-3 battle begins with Krokorok, you know, the ultimate Pokemon to beat flying types. Not his stupid Boldore, that wouldn't do anything. And poor Krokorok has to get his win rate suffered by getting swiftly defeated by Zubat. It legit gets knocked out by a single air cutter when its personality is that it likes fighting tough opponents and getting stronger because of it. As usual, I'll show off Ash's Pokemon's win-loss at the end and give my MVP of the region. Up next, Tranquil comes in to revenge Krokorok before taking her leave of absence as she can't compete with her evolved form. Pikachu delivers the final blow to Pheasant to make some UFC. No, not this UFC. And then it's time for Swanna to come in. Sweet, Pikachu hasn't been knocked out since Pampor and it's 4 times strong against his Swanna. GG, easy game. Nope, Swanna knocks out Pikachu as its Aqua Ring acts as a sort of counter shield against electric type attacks. Tranquil comes back in and evolves into Pheasant, eventually winning the battle for Ash. Something I find myself noticing in this battle is I just don't like it when we have flying type gym battles where it's just birds pecking at each other. I think that's what hurts the rankings of this one for me. I think it being placed in the middle of the pack perfectly fits this battle. It was just mid. But starting to pick up the slack with better battles, we have
Ash vs Burgh at number 4. This is where the super solid battles begin. Ash vs Burgh is the first 3v3 battle of the series, and it did not disappoint at all. Every Pokemon got the chance to shine on the battlefield. Burgh's Dwebble is a good introduction to the bug types of Unova, and it gives a nice contrast to the typical fragile bugs, being one with rock-hard defenses. It's a force on the arena, and even managed to defeat Ash's Tepig. Burgh's Whirlipede is a menace. Despite multiple attempts of using String Shot to trap it, it just spins and slashes the strings away. And even if this Pokemon didn't score any wins, it was still a threatening opponent for Ash. As for Ash's Pokemon, Tepig served as a solid opener. But the main star of the battle is Sewaddle. This Pokemon used String Shot in every creative way possible, for attacking, defending, and even evading. And to top it all off, Sewaddle evolves mid-battle and manages to defeat 2 of Burgh's Pokemon. And when Burgh's ace Leavanny comes in and traps Swadloon with String Shot, we get a classic Ash strategy of using Razor Leaf on yourself to cut the strings. Welcome back, OS2DP Ash! But still, the evolved form is proven to be more powerful, leaving Ash with just 1 Pokemon. Here, Leavanny successfully traps Pikachu with String Shot, initially hindering Pikachu's ability to sprint and aim his attacks. But Ash pulls off one of his old tricks, Spin Dodge. Or rather, Spin Not Dodge, as Pikachu spins and takes on the incoming Leaf Storm to free himself from the strings, and ultimately leading to his well-deserved victory. And what's more is that we get a lot of underrated funny moments in this battle. Just before Ash decides on choosing Pikachu as his last Pokemon, Oshawott comes out of his Pokeball and really wants to battle. But so does Pikachu, so he chooses Pikachu and promises Oshawott that he'll battle next time. Except he never showed up in the Elesa battle. Also, Burgh's reaction after the Leaf Storm and Thunderbolt clash was funny to me. Oh. And when Sewaddle dodged Rock Wrecker, it should have gone straight and hit Ash, imagine? The Best Wishes saga began as a soft reset for Ash, but his battle with Burgh truly felt like he tapped into his old self, taking stuff out from the vault with his ever-exciting out-of-the-box battle strategies. I have 0 complaints for this battle. It's great, 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 great.
The bronze medal goes to Clay. This was the 5th gym of the Unova region and it was a groundbreaking one. Okay, not really, I just wanted to make that pun. Right off the bat, Ash tells Pikachu that electric-type moves don't work on ground Pokemon, so he can't battle in this match. If only we were consistent on that and actually followed through with that, am I right? The battle starts with Clay's Krokorok going up against Oshawott. Now that he's able to use Aqua Jet effectively, it's basically a god tier move, and followed up with an insanely cool Razor Shell, he's able to give Ash the lead quite early. We all know Ash's Palpitoad is kind of lame, but Clay's comes in and takes his revenge out on Oshawott, evening out the score. Then Ash continues using his Noggin and sends out Snivy with a 4-times type advantage. She's able to dismiss the Vibration Pokemon. Sadly, this is Snivy's only knockout in her entire Unova run. Then when Clay's ace Excadrill comes in, Snivy is no match for it and gets easily taken out. Now that Ash has used type effectiveness, it's a no-brainer who his last Pokemon is gonna be, Roggenrola, a Pokemon who's weak to both ground and steel. But worry not, because our little Pebble has plot armor, and after evolving into Boldore, he gains strength thanks to Rock Smash, a move that in theory should self-implode him. Both Pokemon use it, but Boldore overpowers Excadrill to secure the win. This battle was really fun, and despite the type thing as per usual, both sides played very well. I really like the animation of the moves here, and tactics used by both of them all throughout. This battle also made me think that, man, I know Unova is known as the Attract region, as that's like when every Pokemon started using it, but they also gave dig to so many Pokemon, especially gym leaders in this region. It also helps that this is one of the longer gym battles in the region, with only one being noticeably longer, that being
Ash vs Roxie. This is the only gym battle ever where Ash uses 6 of his Pokemon. However, his opponent Roxie is said to be too strong that she decides to use only 3. And this battle is a movie. The underground stadium, the fun punk rock music, the loud cheers, the colorful setting, Ash vs Roxie has all the ingredients to create a thrilling show. It all starts with Roxie's coughing, whom she caught in Kanto. In fact, it's the only non-Unovan Pokemon Ash has faced in his Unova Gym Battles. The Poison Gas Pokemon is surprisingly really fast and really strong and proceeds to take out 2 of Ash's Pokemon. And that's right after winning the battle against a fully evolved Psychic-type Gothitelle. What a powerhouse! But when Leavanny comes in, Ash starts to turn the battle to his favor, as a Bug-type does what he always does best. String Shot his way to victory. Leavanny catches Coughing with his much tougher strings, gives it a nice little spin, then reels it in like a fishing line and delivers the finishing Energy Ball. What an awesome way to claim the first win. But when Scolipede comes in, it's got an amazing tactic of badly poisoning its opponent with Toxic, then finishing Leavanny while he's distressed by the status condition. Ash's response to this is his trusty Pignite, who's always been a reliable battler, and despite getting afflicted with poison, it manages to land one super effective hit after another and takes Scolipede out of the match. It is now when Roxie sends in her final Pokemon, Garbodor. Now, this Garbodor is something, because on top of poisoning its opponents, it also has this lethal move called Venoshock, which doubles in power if its opponent is afflicted with poison. That being said, it takes out both of Ash's Pignite and Palpitoad, so he's left with Pikachu again. Garbodor may be strong, but Pikachu is agile. as he evades the attacks coming from Garbodor's arms, causing them to entangle with each other. This gives Pikachu the opportunity to land a powerful attack, but it doesn't take long until Pikachu gets afflicted with poison. But Ash's dying hopes are rekindled as Iris and Cilan dress themselves and bring out these huge drums to cheer for his final gym battle. This gives Ash and Pikachu the strength it takes to deliver an amazing finale. And thanks to Pikachu's static ability proccing, Garbodor is left vulnerable to the incoming Thunderbolt and Electro Ball. Overall, this battle is fun because we got to see a lot of Ash's underused Pokemon finally being used in this battle. But it begs the question, was that necessary? All it did was increase their loss rate. It should have just been a 6v6, or if that's difficult to execute, maybe a 4v4. For battles with an uneven number of Pokemon to flourish, it has to have a purpose. A stellar example is Ash vs Whitney, as each of Ash's Pokemon had a specific role in defeating her Miltank. And while the 3v6 made Roxie super strong, there are many ways to show how strong a gym leader is. This battle felt like it was handed to Ash from the beginning. Not to mention, Roxie even gave Big Knight a Pecha Berry mid-battle to heal his poison status. But despite that, this battle is still an excellent watch. And I know most of us would really enjoy watching this live in the Pokemon world. With that, Ash vs Roxie deserves to be called the second best gym battle in the Unova region.
Which means that the number 1 spot goes to Brycen. They love their ice punch with ice gym leaders. I guess it's cause they're chill.
This guy stinks!
Back-to-back regions with a 7th gym leader that's an ice specialist, 3rd time if you count Price. Brycen's battle was truly peak Unova. Brycen leads with Vanillish and Ash leads with Krokorok. What happened to type advantage, Ash? But in this battle, Krokorok has that dog in him and he's gonna give it all he's got. Despite losing to a single air cutter from Skyla, he learned from his mistakes as he took a few ice moves and still didn't go down, and one of them was even Blizzard. This causes Ash to swap and send out a Scraggy. After lucky Focus Blast landing and a headbutt, he takes the lead, just for Cragganol to come in and immediately even things out. Brycen's Cragganol doing Rapid Spin truly gave peak Beyblade vibes, and I know I'm not the only one who thought that. Ash sends in his Pignite, and after a monstrous Fire Pledge landing right in the center, Cragganol is knocked out, leaving Brycen with just his ace. But his ace is a Beartic, and he's ready to throw some hands, and he knocks out Pignite, leaving a battered Krokorok left. These two had a good back and forth, but it ends when Ash has a Eureka moment. Ash hit us with one of those plays that honestly were few and far between recently, and reminded me of how Johto Ash always found unique ways to win his gym badges. He commands Krokorok to use Stone Edge, which Beartic blocks with Isocore Ash, but that was just according to plan. Ash commands Krokorok to jump up and grab the CGI Stone, which Cilan remarks that it's exactly what Bianca did during her Club Explosion battle against Trip. Beartic goes for Aerial Ace, but Krokorok just slices him with a Stone Shard, knocking out the bear Pokemon and probably requiring it to get some serious stitches. This battle was peak, all of the Pokemon were utilized to perfection, and that ending sequence was amazing. Nothing else to say, this battle was phenomenal. Now it's time for my personal favorite part of these gym ranking videos, where I see the battle records for each Pokemon and give my personal MVP of the region. Starting off from worst to best win rate. Ash used 10 different Pokemon in his Unova run, which is fun because lots of battles feel unique, but at the same time the records were very even. The worst win rate goes to Snivy and Palpitoad, who both won a measly 1 and 2 in the Unova run. Palpitoad much to no one's surprise, but Snivy kinda caught me off guard to be honest. 3 Pokemon went 1 and 1, those being Krokorok, Boldore, and Scraggy. Krokorok and Boulder were the aces of their respective wins, and Scraggy was just kind of there. Also at a 50% win rate was Ashwa, who went a respectable 3 and 3. He put in the work when it was needed and was mainly used at the start of the region before being put in the sidelines when it came to important battles. Another 50% win rate goes to Pignite, but he went 4 and 4. What's also impressive with Pignite is that he appeared in the most gym battles, appearing in 6 out of the 9 battles, which is pretty interesting. Another fun fact is that he had alternating win-loss, so he won his first interaction, lost the next, and vice versa all the way throughout the region. Leavanny posted a 60% win rate, really shining best in the Burgh battle and being the one to defeat the cracked out Coughing. Unfezant went 2 and 1 in her gym run, just being the Skyla Pokemon basically. And finally, Pikachu also rocked a 67% win rate in Unova, going 4 and 2. It defeated some tough Pokemon, but its only 2 losses were Panpour and Swanna, both Pokemon it should have no problem defeating. It's really hard for me to choose an MVP for this run, but I think ultimately it should go to Pignite. Sure, it didn't do as good as Pikachu, but all of its losses were to fair matchups and it showed up the most in terms of gym battle appearances. Let me know which gym battle in Unova was your favorite and why, and also which Pokemon do you think deserve the MVP the most. I think the Unova region in general, much to no one's surprise, had weaker gym battles in the previous regions, with some great highs and some very low lows. But overall, I can honestly say I had a bunch of fun watching them. We have one more region to cover, the Kalos region, and with that, we need to get ready. Let's lace up our shoes one final time, board a plane, and head to the Kalos region where we have one more gym run awaiting us.